Now we will see food as a source of energy. Various types of activities are going on within our body even when we do not do any work. Atoms, molecules and cells of our body continuously work and change even though the structure of our tissues and organs and our external appearance remains relatively constant. Our skin, which covers the body, is replaced entirely by new cells every 7 years. The fat beneath our skin is not the same fat that was there a year ago. The oldest RBC is only 120 days old and the entire lining of gastrointestinal tract is renewed every 3 days. To maintain ourselves, you must replenish, make good or replace continuously from food the energy and the nutrients that are depleted while maintaining our activities. Now we will see the nutrients in food and in the body. The body derives nutrients from dietary source for production of energy, synthesis of structural materials for replacing worn out cells or tissue, regulating activities, protecting our body from illness and also keep the body active and healthy. This module highlights the process of production of energy from food and food is considered as the source of energy. Now we will see the composition of foods. Chemical analysis of any food shows that it is composed primarily of solid materials like carbohydrates, protein and fat along with vitamins and minerals and other compounds and water. These nutrients and minerals found in food are used for production of energy, growth, maintenance and repair of its tissue and protect our body from illness. Now we will see the composition of body. A complete chemical analysis of human body shows that it is made up of materials similar to those nutrients present in food. A healthy 60 kg body weight contains about 36 kg of water and about 12 kg of fat and the other 12 kg are mostly compounds containing protein and major minerals of bones. Vitamins and other minerals and other components are fraction of kilogram. The chemical composition of nutrients reveal that the simplest nutrient is water, a compound made up of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. Minerals and water are inorganic nutrients and they contain no carbon. The major classes of nutrients, carbohydrates, lipids, protein and fats are more complex. In addition to hydrogen and oxygen, they also contain carbon, an element found in all living things. They are therefore organic compounds. Protein and some vitamins contain nitrogen. The energy yielding nutrients in body, three major organic nutrients are used to produce energy are carbohydrates, fats and protein, whereas micronutrients such as vitamins, minerals and water are not involved in yielding energy in human body but promote the process of producing energy. Now we will see energy from foods. When these nutrients are completely oxidized in a body, a gram of carbohydrate gives about 4 kilocalorie of energy. A gram of protein also produces the same quantity of 4 kilocalorie of energy, whereas 1 gram of fat produces 9 kilocalorie of energy. The body uses the energy producing nutrients to fuel all its activities. When the body uses carbohydrates, protein and fat for energy, the bonds between nutrients break. As the bonds break, they release energy. Some of the energy is released as heat, but some is used to send electrical impulses through brain and nerves to synthesize body compounds and to move muscles. Like that, energy from food supports each and every activities from quite simply thought or to vigorous physical activities. Chemical composition in the body. Many chemical reactions are involved in synthesizing and breaking of bonds in energy producing nutrients like carbohydrates, lipids and protein. The sum of these reactions and all other chemical reactions that go on in living cell is known as metabolism and are involved in production of energy. During digestion, the body breaks down the three macronutrients carbohydrates, lipids and protein into four basic units that can be absorbed into the blood. Carbohydrates are broken down to produce glucose, lipids are broken down to produce fatty acids and glycerol, and protein broken down to give amino acid. These nutrients are further metabolized to release energy and also used for synthesis of new compounds. The metabolism is the combination of anabolism and catabolism. In anabolism, building reaction takes place. For example, the cell can use the basic unit of macro and micronutrients to build body compounds. Glucose molecules join together to produce glycogen chain. Glycerol and fatty acids may be assembled into triglycerides. Amino acids may be linked together to form a new protein. Each of these reactions starts with a small, simple compound and uses them as building blocks to form larger and more complex structure. Such building up of body compound is known as anabolism. In catabolism, that is breakdown reaction takes place. For example, body compounds are continuously broken down, usually with the release of energy. There is a breakdown of glycogen to glucose, triglycerides to fatty acid, and glycerols and protein to amino acid. When the body needs energy, it breaks down any or all of these basic units. The figure 1 brings about the general concept of anabolism. Anabolic reaction include synthesis of glycogen, triglycerides and protein. These reactions require different quantity of energy with the involvement of micronutrients under favorable condition. Catabolic reactions include conversion of glycogen, triglycerides and protein to glucose, glycerol, fatty acid and amino acid respectively, and release different quantity of energy after undergoing various reactions. The figure 2 indicates the catabolic reactions. Now we will see the transfer of energy in reaction. When chemical bond breaks, energy is released as a heat captured in one another chemical bond or both. Often, as one compound is broken apart, some of the energy is released as heat and some is used to put together another compound. Such reactions in which the breakdown of one compound provides energy for building up another is known as coupled reaction. Energy produced during catabolism is often captured by molecules that can easily transfer this energy to another compounds. These molecules are called as body's energy currency or high energy compounds. One such compound is ATP, adenosine triphosphate. The breakdown of energy producing nutrient molecules is coupled to the production of many ATP molecules which capture much of the released energy in their bonds. ATP is, as its name indicates, contain 3 phosphate groups. The energy in bonds between each phosphate group is greater than the energy in most other chemical bonds. When energy is needed, hydrolysis reactions readily break these high energy bonds, splitting off one or two phosphate groups and releasing their energy. These reactions in turn are coupled to other reactions that use that energy. Thus, the body uses ATP to transfer energy produced during catabolic reaction to power its anabolic reaction. The body uses ATP to carry its energy currency, build body structure, do other work or generate heat as needed. When ATP energy is used to do work, nearly 50% is lost as heat, working out to 50% efficiently. The site of reactions, number 1, the cell. The metabolic work is going on all the time within the millions of cells of the body. In each cell, mitochondria is known as powerhouse of energy. The mitochondria are intricately folded membranes that houses all the enzymes involved in sequence of reaction such as conversion of pyruvate to acetyl-CoA, the TCA cycle and electron transport chain. The quantity and quality of metabolic activities are mainly based on the type of body cells, liver cells being the most versatile and metabolically active. The helper in the reactions are enzymes and coenzymes. Metabolic reactions always needed enzyme to facilitate their action. In some cases, enzymes need assistance to help them. Enzyme helpers are called coenzymes. Coenzymes are small organic molecules that associated closely with most enzymes but not protein in nature basically. The relationship between coenzyme and enzyme differ in detail, but one thing is true of all: without its coenzyme, enzymes cannot function. Some of the B complex vitamins serve as coenzyme to the enzyme that release energy from glucose, glycerol, fatty acid and amino acids. These B complex vitamins coenzyme stand along the sides of the metabolic pathway to facilitate the release of energy. Now we will see the production of energy. Body derives energy mainly from oxidation of carbohydrates and fats. Small proportion of energy is also derived from oxidation of protein. These nutrients are supplied by the diet, so the food has a remarkable ability to produce energy by oxidation. It is essential to have knowledge regarding body's ability to produce energy, which is a valuable asset to health. As already seen, carbohydrates are reduced to simple sugar, monosaccharides, and are absorbed into bloodstream, transported to individual cell to meet the energy needs of the cell. Protein is digested to simple amino acid and fat is digested to fatty acid and glycerol. These simple substances are metabolized to produce energy. The production of energy is mainly based on the amount of presence or availability of micronutrients like vitamins and minerals and also hormones. These micronutrients facilitate many complex chemical reactions. The metabolized energy is converted into ATP, that is high energy compound or currency for energy of living organism. ATP is trapped or present in the cells, that is energy is present in the form of ATP in the cells of living organisms. When energy is needed, ATP is slowly broken down and release energy. Then ATP turns to be ADP. ADP produces ATP with the release of energy. All these reactions are possible within the cell with the involvement of simple sugar, amino acids, fatty acids and glycerol. Apart from the production of energy, ATP is also used for the synthesis of new compounds and for many physical changes and metabolic reaction. Now we will see the breaking down of the nutrients for energy. With these introductory remarks in mind, it is time to enter the cell and follow the various parts that glucose, glycerol, fatty acid and amino acid take to give energy. As you will see, each starts down different pathway, but they all reach common destination. At a certain point, they lose their individuality and most of their options during catabolism lead to production of energy. The basic units derived from foods are glucose, glycerol, fatty acid and amino acid. Molecules of each of these compound is made up of still smaller unit, the atom, like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. Metabolic activities relating to these compounds inside the cell can best to understand by starting with glucose. Two new names appear: pyruvate, that is a 3-carbon structure, and acetyl-CoA, that is 2-carbon structure with coenzyme, and rest of the story falls into place around them. The two major points to notice in the following discussion are: initially all these compounds are converted to pyruvate that can be used to make glucose, and then these compounds are converted directly to acetyl-CoA. Now we will see the metabolism of carbohydrate in the form of glucose. The first pathway glucose takes on its way to produce energy is glycolysis, which actually involves several steps and several enzymes along with micronutrients. Along this way, 6-carbon glucose is split in half, forming 3-carbon compounds. These 3-carbon compounds continue along the pathway until they are converted to pyruvate. Thus, the net yield of one glucose molecule is produced 2 pyruvate and they continue breaking down. Both pyruvate molecule will release much of their energy to form ATP molecule and some of this energy as heat, glucose to pyruvate. To start the process of splitting glucose to pyruvate, the cell must use little energy, but then it produced most energy than it had invested initially. More energy can be released by taking pyruvate through additional metabolic reaction, but oxygen is needed for this reaction, and with sufficient oxygen, pyruvate molecules enter the mitochondria of the cells where they will be converted to acetyl-CoA. Thereafter, the process may take different metabolic pathways depending on the needs of the cell. If the cell needs energy, acetyl-CoA may proceed through a series of reactions known as TCA cycle and electron transport chain. These reactions convert the 2-carbon acetyl-CoA to 2 carbon dioxide molecules and free its coenzyme, which is to be reused. To summarize the glucose utilization, it is necessary to conclude the observed glucose undergoes sequence of reaction through glycolysis, that is a anaerobic breakdown of glucose, glycogen to lactic acid, oxidation of lactic acid to acetyl-CoA. The next one is acetyl-CoA enters into TCA cycle for energy production with the release of carbon dioxide and water. The electron transport chain is the last pathway in energy metabolism, where the electrons from hydrogen are passed to oxygen and the energy released is trapped in the bond of ATP. If energy is not needed, acetyl-CoA will not enter the TCA cycle, but it will be used for the synthesis of fatty acid and also triglycerides. In glycolysis, in which glucose is converted into lactic acid, In anaerobic condition, that is, oxygen is not required in this process. Two carbon molecules of energy-rich compound in the form of ATP are required for glycolysis. At the same time, as the result of glycolysis, 4 units of ATP are formed. 8 ATP produced through the sequence of reaction of glycolysis, 6 are produced due to conversion of pyruvic acid to acetyl-CoA. The 24 in TCA cycle, which is responsible for the production of 90% of energy released within the cell. Totally 38 ATP are released in a molecule of glucose metabolism. Now we will see the metabolism of fatty acid and glycerol. Fatty acid obtained by hydrolysis of fat are oxidized to produce acetyl-CoA, which in turn is oxidized to produce carbon dioxide and water through TCA cycle with the release of energy. In general, dietary lipids are composed of triglycerides, that is 95%, and are carried to the liver as chylomicrons, very small fat particle. From the liver, it is transferred to all the cells as lipoprotein. But before entering into the cell, the lipoprotein is split off and fat portion enters into the cells. Again, fat is split into glycerol and fatty acid and are later metabolized. Glycerol is readily metabolized to pyruvic acid, which can be used to provide energy. Fatty acid, long chain fatty acid, will split into 2 carbon fragments, that is acetyl-CoA. For example, 18 carbon fatty acid break down to give 9 2 carbon units through series of reaction by the involvement of vitamins such as riboflavin, niacin, biotin, and minerals like magnesium, copper, iron and sodium. Acetyl-CoA enters TCA cycle for the production of energy. Actually, the fatty acid cannot be converted to glucose, but they can be resynthesized into fat if not used for energy. Glycerol to pyruvate. Glycerol, that is a 3 carbon compound like pyruvate with different arrangement of hydrogen and hydroxy on carbon atom, which is easily converted to another 3 carbon compound. This compound may go either up the path to form glucose or down to form pyruvate and acetyl-CoA, and finally carbon dioxide and water with the release of energy. Fatty acid to acetyl-CoA. Unlike glycerol, which is a 3 carbon compound that can be converted to 3 carbon pyruvate, fatty acids are cleaved to 2 carbon at a time in a series of aerobic reaction known as fatty acid oxidation. In this process, each 2 carbon fragment split off and combine with a molecule of CoA to form acetyl-CoA. A major quantity of energy is released each time a 2 carbon fragments breaks up from the fatty acid during oxidation, but nearly 3 times as much as energy is released when these 2 carbon units of acetyl-CoA enters TCA cycle. If the cell does not need energy, the acetyl-CoA molecules will combine with each other to form body fat in the same way acetyl-CoA produced from excess carbohydrate does. Now we will see the metabolism of amino acids. When energy intake is adequate, amino acid derived from protein are used for synthesizing body protein. In some cases, surplus amino acids are used for production of energy by losing their amino group through deamination or transamination or transdeamination and enter the same metabolic pathway as carbohydrate and fat and used as a source of energy. The released amino acid group combine to form urea and are excreted by kidney. Like this, amino acids, fatty acid, glycerol and glucose are metabolized to give pyruvate or acetate, that is acetyl-CoA. Then those move from cytoplasm to mitochondria of the cell for further reaction, that is oxidative decarboxylation with the help of vitamins known as thiamine. In this reaction, one of the carbon atoms of pyruvate oxidized to give carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide is released through lungs, hydrogens are released and are attached to riboflavin and niacin containing FAD and NAD to produce FADH and NADH. Once the hydrogen atoms have been attached to niacin and riboflavin containing coenzyme, they are carried to mitochondria membrane where they entered into another series of reactions known as electron transport system. This system is responsible for a process known as oxidative phosphorylation. Here there is an addition of phosphate molecule is ADP for the formation of ATP and used for the release of energy, and water and carbon dioxide are obtained as metabolic waste products. The tricarboxylic acid or TCA cycle or citric acid cycle. TCA is found in mitochondria where enzymes involved in TCA cycle are available. As the result, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 20 molecules of hydrogen atoms are released from every molecule of glucose or 2 molecules of pyruvate. ATP is the form in which energy is stored until it is needed for energy requiring process of the body. About 40% of the potential energy dietary nutrient is extracted and stored as ATP, and the remaining is converted to heat. The end products are dispersed as carbon dioxide, which is excreted through the lungs, water excreted through lungs, skin and kidney. Urea is the end product of protein and excreted through kidney. The metabolism of carbohydrate, protein and fat to release ATP and heat are now discussed. The carbohydrate and its storage form glycogen in the body is hydrolyzed to release glucose, which is converted into pyruvate via glycolytic pathway. Acetyl-CoA derived from pyruvate through oxidative decarboxylation is then metabolized via TCA cycle to carbon dioxide, and hydrogen is oxidized in mitochondria via electron transport chain coupled to oxidative phosphorylation system to form ATP and water. 38 molecules of ATP being produced during glycolysis, 36 during oxidative phosphorylation. The fat is hydrolyzed to glycerol and fatty acid. Glycerol enters into a glycolytic pathway, and fatty acid, after being converted to acetyl-CoA, enters into Krebs cycle to be completely oxidized to produce utilizable energy in the form of ATP. Protein after hydrolysis yields amino acid, which after oxidative deamination and transamination enter the Krebs cycle as keto acids to be further oxidized. This table shows the ATP produced from various sources of energy in terms of carbohydrate. For example, one molecule of glucose is able to produce 38 ATP, which is able to produce 40% of total energy content. Fat, that is in the form of fatty acid, is able to produce 129 ATP, which is 41% of total energy content. Like that, protein also able to produce 22 ATP, which will contribute 30 to 34% of total energy content. In practice, due to unfavorable situation, energy production is reduced in the following reaction where ATP is wasted and only heat is generated. Number 1, the macronutrient level oxidation. In this condition, macronutrients are not involved in complete metabolism and are oxidized. Second one, uncoupling of oxidative phosphorylation. Third one, fat synthesis from glucose. Fourth one, electron pathway of low phosphorylation efficiency via HMP shunt pathway and so on. By conclusion, glucose metabolism is interrelated with protein and fat metabolism. That is, protein are potential source of glucose, and on other hand, glucose can be converted to fatty acid, glycerol and certain amino acid. That is, a number of intermediate products of glucose metabolism are starting point for this synthesis of amino acid and fatty acid and its metabolism. The trace elements magnesium, iron and several B complex vitamins are essential for enzyme activity. Thus, this metabolism of nutrients is interdependent and interrelated with one another to release energy from the food. Thereby, we will consider food as a source of energy for our physical and mental activities.